Lawmakers want to see Hamas release all hostages. Chicago. CBS, 24 hostages released by Hamas made their way back to their loved ones Friday night. As CBS 2's Jermont Terry reported, the freed hostages include 13 Israeli women and children. More hostages are expected to be released on Saturday, but U.S. officials, including an Illinois congressman, said Hamas needs to release all the hostages it has taken. 13 of the Israeli hostages were handed over by Hamas on Friday, the head of Israel's government press office confirmed to CBS News just after 5 p.m. local time. CBS News correspondent Lilia Luciano reported that Red Cross trucks appearing to carry freed Israeli hostages crossed the Gaza border into Egypt around 6 p.m. local time. Qatar Foreign Ministry spokesman Dr. Majid al-Ansari said on social media that in total, 24 hostages had been released. That includes the 13 Israeli hostages, 10 Thai hostages and 1 Filipino hostage. The Israeli Defense Forces said on social media just before 7 p.m. local time that the released hostages were on Israeli soil and had undergone initial medical assessments. IDF members accompanied the released hostages to hospitals where they will be reunited with their families. The IDF also shared a video of a bus carrying the freed hostages entering Israel. A helicopter said to be carrying Israeli hostages landed Friday at a medical center in Israel. There were cheers as those held captive left the aircraft, while another video showed Hamas fighters releasing more hostages, including elderly women. They were ushered into the care of Red Cross workers, then placed on a van before heading to the hospital. The temporary truce is designed to exchange 50 hostages for 150 Palestinian detainees, including women and children. Time equals 400 ms, greater than, Hamas needs to release all of these hostages ASAP. Like now, said U.S. Representative Raja Krishnamurthy, D. Illinois, and so if they do what is the humane and civil thing to do, which is to release these hostages, we could see this temporary ceasefire extend. Yet none of the 10 American hostages were among the first group released. We also will not stop until we get these hostages brought home and an answer to their whereabouts, President Joe Biden said Friday. Thousands also gathered to greet the released Palestinian prisoners near the occupied West Bank. On Friday, 24 women and 15 teenage boys were freed after being held for months, or in some cases years. Word is the Israeli military warned Palestinians not to celebrate the return of the prisoners in the West Bank. But with prisoners carried on shoulders in the streets, that warning was defined. In Chicago, pro-Palestinian protesters took to the streets on the Magnificent Mile in the middle of Black Friday shopping. They showed up voicing opposition to the U.S. support of Israel. This is the Magnificent Mile. This is Michigan Avenue. It's one of the most storied business districts in the entire world, said Hatem Aboudeya, national chair of the United States Palestinian Community Network, and we're here today to say no business as usual. They were pleased to hear of a 4-day truce. Those in the crowd in Chicago called for a complete ceasefire. This temporary ceasefire is because of the people in the streets, the thousands in Chicago, the millions across the United States, the maybe tens of millions across the world, Aboudeya said. While the ceasefire is underway, much-needed aid and food can be brought into Gaza, where more than 2 million Palestinians have been displaced during the war.